Okay, now, recently we were greeted from space in our own language, believe it or not. No, but it wasn't Alan the alien or his mates. It was a spacecraft called Rosetta. Here to tell us more from Astronomy Ireland, it's David Moore! David Moore! David Moore! David Moore! How are you, David?
Very well.
You are very welcome. Now, tell us about this Rosetta spacecraft. What's going on with it?
Well, it's a European craft. Ireland's a member of the European Space Agency, and it's off to a comet. In fact, it was launched 10 years ago.
A decade ago?
Yeah.
So some of our viewers wouldn't have even been born when this thing was launched.
That's how long it takes, and it would have been planned for years before that, but it's been flying through space for 10 years. It's going to arrive later this year, and we just woke it up successfely after being asleep.
And that's when it greeted the world with all the different welcomes, saying, "Dia Yiv," and all this stuff. So it just woke up.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be put into hibernation because it's very far out away from the sun. It runs on solar panels. There wasn't enough electricity to keep it running. Hadn't got that much to do, to be honest, because it's so far away from the comet. And the thing was, after 2.5 years...
This is it here right now. That's it there.
Yeah, after 2.5 years, would it wake up? And there were a lot of people crossing their fingers 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, everything went smoothly. It's alive and well, and we're looking forward to a great mission for about 2 more years.
Brilliant. What are we looking forward to potentially finding out?
Well, the big question with comets, and the reason it's called Rosetta, is that they contain a lot of water. And we want to figure things out about where we came from, because water is what life is based on. And so the Rosetta Stone, after which it's named, was a thing that enabled people to decode the ancient Egyptian writings. And we hope this is going to help us decode where life came from, because 2/3 of all of our bodies is made of water. And half of that came, we think, from comets. There's too much water on the Earth, if we understand how the Earth formed. And so when this spacecraft tastes the comet, it's going to land on the comet, taste it effectively, we'll find out, is it exactly the same kind of water as we have in our oceans, or have we got it all wrong?
Oh.
So it's really a quest to understand how life could have started on the Earth. And once we know that, we could figure out maybe where it started elsewhere.
There's other types of water which don't exist on Earth but could exist in the far realms of space?
It seems unimportant to you and I where the water came from. It's there, it's in the oceans, we're happy about that. But when you want to understand where the world came from, then the actual exact composition of the water, there's a bit more than water in water. There's trace other things as well.
Oh, right.
And some of it came from asteroids. They're rocky things close to the sun. But the rest we think came from comets, which have a slightly different makeup further out, very far out, away from all the planets.
So where do comets come from? I mean, how do they start? What's the story of a comet?
Well, everything in this room and on the planet us came from a big swirling cloud of gas and dust. It fell together under gravity, made the sun. We've swept up all the gas and dust where we are, going around the sun. There's nothing left except the one solid lump, the Earth. But out beyond the outer planets, there are probably millions of these tiny comets. And they're made of the stuff that the solar system was originally made from. So when they fall into the sun, they're bringing in 4,500 million-year-old stuff that we can look at and find out what our ancient history was.
That really is incredible.
Crazy.
Can you tell us, why did we pick this particular comet?
Well, this comet goes around the sun more or less in the same plane as the Earth goes around the sun. So if you had the Earth going around the sun on a table, the comet's more or less going around the surface of the table. Some of them go straight up over it and straight down, and it'd be too hard to catch up with a comet like that. We had to actually swing Rosetta past the Earth 3 times to pick up speed. Sort of
just to get enough speed to catch up to it?
Yep, and once past Mars as well, in order to get going fast enough to catch up with this particular comet. That's a relatively easy one. So it's not as easy as you think. You can't just drive to a comet straight away.
We see the spacecraft there. How is it going to get onto the comet? I mean, is that a complicated process?
Yeah, the main spacecraft there is about 3 meters by 2 meters by 2 meters, so about the size of a small bus. And the solar panels are about 30 meters across, like a football pitch.
It's quite big.
It's a big object in space, but it drops off a little lander that's going to descend down to the comet, land on the surface. The comet's only a few thousand meters across, and it has so little gravity, if you and I were to run along the comet, we could jump off out into space and never come back.
Oh,
so they're actually going to fire harpoons into the surface to anchor the lander and winch themselves in to make sure they don't bounce off it when they hit this comet, and then taste the ice, the dirt, the sludge, everything that's mixed in with the comet.
When is this going to happen? When can we expect to hear about it in the news?
The big day.
Well, right now it's still a few millions of kilometers away from the comet, and by about August it will arrive. It'll start mapping the comet, checking out the systems, and then about November the lander should descend to the surface, and it'll stay on the comet for a whole year. And the reason for that year is that's the year the comet goes closest to the sun, and all the stuff will boil off in the heat.
David, thank you so much for coming in and telling us about this. It sounds incredible. I can't wait to hear the news.
It's going to be amazing the next 2 years watching Rosetta.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, David.
We are